Hello everybody, welcome to the third guide of the Auto Chess series. Dude, I'm having so much fun with Auto Chess. So we finally finished this presentation. It took a long ass time. There are so many things that I needed to push and so many visuals and whatnot, but it's finally here. It's the Tribes and Synergies Auto Chess guide. So this guide, we're gonna cover all the tribes, all the synergies, and some interesting things about them, like counters, kind of specific archetypes, and what you should do with them, like what a good late game comp is and stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and start with, well, basically all the tribes. We're gonna start with the aggressive ones. So the beast synergy has 6 units, so these 6. You're gonna see this in every single slide. I'm just gonna go over each of the mechanics so that you guys kind of like, it's good to basically refresh your memory, it says, okay? So when you have beasts, you get to have increased base damage for your heroes and summons. So it's very important that this includes whatever you summon. So summons from Lone Druid, summons from Lycan, summons from Vino. They all get the benefit of added percent. And these are additive. So if you have 2 beasts, you get 10%. If you have 4 beasts, you add the previous one, so you get 25%. And if you get all 6 beasts, then you get that's 45% extra damage, okay? So basically, that increases your killing speed, all right? Means that you can actually focus fire down certain units really fast on the enemy's team, and then you can basically win fights that way. You also get this bonus on, well, it's obvious that you're getting on all team heroes. You're not just getting on the beasts, which is kind of, special to beasts, because usually tribes only buff their own tribe members. So if you have like a strong unit that's a lot of base attack, like PA or like SF, then you get a little bonus, and you also get increased mana gain for attacking. That's actually huge, right? So for something like Lycan or LD, you want these guys to ulti immediately, like as fast as you can. And if you have the beast bonus, you don't even need to put it in the front line. They can just like generally gain a lot of mana. Oh, especially for Vino as well. Another perk for beasts is that it's very easy to make, right? Like there's 6 beasts, you only need 2 for the bonus. And if it's not working out, you can just transition out of it. So it's like super simple. Very flexible build, beasts. And when you go beasts, what you want to do is you want to try and pair them with things that are already found within the tribe, right? So warriors is a very natural build because of Tusk and Lycan. These are both these are both warriors, and of course druids. There's only 2 druids right here, right? So like these are just really easy to pair up. How do you counter beasts? Well, usually you don't really need to counter beasts. You just kind of need to outvalue them or whatnot. But if you're really struggling with beasts and the top player is beasts, you might want to consider some AoE. And you might consider some burst and focus fire, because, well, if beasts do a lot of damage, then you also want to focus fire them down so that less damage is coming up. We've got a hyper aggressive one. We've got trolls. Trolls give increased attack speed for your heroes, and there's 4 units, right? There's Bat Rider, Shadow Shaman, Witch Doctor, and Troll Warlord. If you have 2 of them, they give you 35% attack speed for only the trolls, for only your trolls. But if you assemble all 4, you get plus 30% attack speed on all heroes. What that means is that if you have 4 trolls, that's insane amounts of attack speed for your trolls, because each of them gets 65% attack speed, right? Because once again, all bonuses add up with each other, right? And then all your other units also get 30% attack speed. So insane focus fire. This is the best focus fire build you could ever have in Auto Chess. You just actually smart people down even faster than beasts, right? You get faster mana gain as all aggressive archetypes generally go. And trolls are very easy to pair with other tribes. We're going to see some pairing later. But one thing to note that if you can get very lucky with items, you might want to consider trolls, because there's extra effectiveness when you equip Troll Warlord with all your items, like damage items or whatnot, because he gets extra attack speed, right? So if you have a lot of attack speed and you have a lot of attack damage, then that's insane. So that is really good. Now, this trolls pairs really well with warlocks, because I'm sure you guys heard attack speed, deal more damage, and then warlocks can life gain, right? It's actually one of the only tribes that does really well with warlocks. And of course, Disruptor is insane. Okay, Disruptor would be insane in this comp. Not only does it synergize with shamans, with Shadow Shaman, you also get to basically silence their ass. right? And when their ass is silenced, they cannot conquer ship you. They cannot Medusa you. They cannot Tide Hunter you, which means that you can attack, right? Because the counter to this tribe is AoEs and stuns. And if they're doing that, and then all your units die, well, guess what? Dead units can't do damage, right? So that's why Disruptor is like a huge pairing of Trolls. You really want a Disruptor. Almost to the other aggressive one, also a great win. Like, Trolls are a good win condition. Well, guess what? Dragons are also a good win condition. 3 dragons here. There's Puck, Viper, and Dragon Knight, of course. And if you have all 3 of these dragons, these units all start with 100 mana. Which means that at the start of the fight, you get a Illusory Orb, you get a Viper Strike, and you also get to transform your Dragon Knight. So it's actually huge, right? There's a huge burst potential at the start. You also transform Dragon Knight into one of the best carries in the game, right? Dragon Knight 2 starts splash damaging. And dragons are just very, very easy to pair with other tribes because Puck is a mage and an elf, right? Dragon Knight is a human and a knight, and then Viper is also assassin. So it's very easy to pair with other tribes with this. And of course, once again, because you're running a hyper carry, there's extra effectiveness from items. So you're a little bit more incentivized to run dragons if you have good items. Like I said, pairs of all the things that you can see. Pairs really well with mages, by the way. Mage dragons are insane, and of course, night dragons are insane. How do you counter dragons, though? The best counter is actually Lich. So if you're actually facing, late game, there's a few dragon players that are still alive. You want to pick up a Lich really, really badly because, well, slowing their attack speed is really important, and usually they're gonna pair it with something else that is really good against your board, right? Lich doesn't care about that, okay? Lich doesn't care if you're mages or knights or whatever. It slows your attack speed down, deals a lot of damage. And a weird counter to dragons is actually just to spread your units. If your units are all across your board, then the Dragon Knight can't really splash. The Puck can't really bowling ball your whole all your units, right? So just make sure they spread out against dragons, okay? Next up, we have Undead. Undead we have 5 units here with Drow, Abbey, Necro, Lich, and DP. And the bonus is that you reduce armor for all your enemies. If you're 2 undead, they reduce by 4 armor. If you're 4 undead, you reduce them for a total of 10 armor. And same thing, right? If you reduce the armor, not only is it very fast to kill them, you also gain mana. This actually, the first point is actually a little understated. When you reduce the armor of your opponent's units, you actually increase all their incoming physical damage, right? This has a big bonus because you can actually kill them before they ulti, especially level 1 units, right? If you're against like a Lycan or if you're against like a Beastmaster or something like that early game, and you actually focus them down with Undead bonus, they can't ulti, they just die. So Undead is actually one of the best early game tribes you can have, and it also scales in the late game too. Once again, very easy to assemble. You just need 2 undead. Might be pretty hard to do early game because you need exactly Drow and you need exactly Abbey. It's still very easy. So like if undead's not really working out for you, you can just move out of it. Pairs with everything. Pairs of hunters because there's a Drow hunter. Pairs of knights because Abbey's a knight. Pairs of warlocks because we have 2 warlocks here. Pairs really well with Beastmaster and other units that have a physical damage ulti, right? Because the wild axis is physical damage, so like keep an eye out for that. And the only real counter to undead is orcs because, well, they get the armor, right? And the armor gain is actually more than the negative armor. But usually there's not a lot of counters to undead. They just have to either outlevel you or make another do another angle. So that's why undead is just really, really good. Orcs? No. I meant sorry. I meant warriors. Because warriors gain armor and not orcs. Alright, well, yep. Thank you to the live chat. Okay, guys, not orcs. Warriors, okay? Alright, next up, we have a few more aggressive ones to go. Next one is mages. There's 7 mages here. There's Ogre Magi, Puck, Crystal Maiden, Lina, Razor, Coddle, and Lich. And this gives a huge bonus reduces your enemy's magic resistance. So if you have 3 mages, it's negative 40%. So they take 40% more magic damage. And if you have 6 mages, they take another negative 40%. But magic resistance stacks in a way that if you have more of them, you get more effect. So if you have 6 mages, they actually take basically 100% more damage. So going full mages is actually not bad, right? Imagine if your Kato deals double damage or your Razor deals double damage. That's a lot, right? And if you have like some random magic resist items, then you can actually improve them even more. I wanted to put statistics in this video, but it ended up being too long a guide. So the next guide will be about statistics, will be exactly why this works. Like 40 plus 40 shouldn't be 96, but I'll explain this in the next guide. Anyways, back to mages. Insane burst damage and insane AoE damage. It's a very easy to start a fight late game that when you have mages, you just melt them. You just delete their whole army in like 3 seconds, and then you can just do cleanup afterwards. This makes it so that you give a lot of pressure to your opponent because there's not a lot of tribes that can counter this, right? Usually, you know, every unit is kind of like a level 2 unit. The best counter to this is like a level 3 unit. So when you are playing mages, you blank your opponent's strategies. It basically means they have to fix something about their strat, which is really, really good because they have to go out their way to, for example, get Nagas, right? Or, for example, get a Disruptor. Good pairings for mages include units that can magic ult. So SF has a magic damage ulti. Same thing with Kunkka. Kunkka also delivers a stun, so that's really, really good for your mages. And weirdly enough, Disruptor is also really good in mages because, well, Disruptor just does everything here, right? Does magic damage, AoEs, silences them so they can't actually react to it, right? Like, Tidehunter can actually be really, really bad against mages. So when you play mages, you need to pick a Disruptor because otherwise your opponent's gonna take a Disruptor. It's kind of like it's a lot of pressure to pick this unit up. It's so strong. So once again, pick units that have magic damage ultis. Like Gyro also has magic damage. Necro also has magic damage, you know, stuff like that. Alright, next up we have Assassins. Assassins is super aggressive. There's 9 assassins in the game. Bounty Hunter. We have a lot of 2s. A lot of $2 assassin. Oh, guys, Ricky is a 3. Okay, fixed it. Okay, so we have Morphling, Quap, Ricky, Slark. We have Viper, PA, Sand King, and TA. TA is like, it's actually kind of like the cornerstone. Super strong, super tanky. This is kind of like very, very important. All right, and of course, Assassins gives critical strike chance. At 3, it gives you 10%. At 6, it gives you a 50% chance of 4 times. And then at 9, it gives you 20% at 5 times, okay? Whoops. So, yeah, it's interesting to note that the critical strike actually uses the most damage. So you don't really have to worry about that. For example, if both the 3x and the 5x trigger, the game will use the 5x. So you always get the biggest benefit. Not that it doesn't really, you can't really affect this or anything, so it doesn't really matter. But with Assassins, you get some perks. Obviously, you get a lot of increased damage because you know, they crit. But the increased damage comes in the form of burst, which is actually better because when you burst a unit down once again, you remove them from the battle, so they stop doing anything, and they also get to stop ulting, right? If you ult immediately on like a Disruptor or like on a key unit like Enigma, they can't actually affect the team anymore, so it's insane. Technically speaking, they're still assassins, so they can kill backline units easily. If you're the only assassin player, then it's really hard to position against you, so you get that benefit. And as we saw from multiple times, especially during my stream, right? When you play assassins, you can misdirect your opponent's ultis away from your team. This doesn't even apply to just assassins. You just run like 1 or 2 assassins, and then your opponent's Enigma is just gonna be stupid and just ulti your just your assassin, and then that can just win you random fights, which is insane. Assassins are generally a big mid-game power spike. So make sure you can pair them with something that is also really good in mid-game. So stuff like Elves is really good with assassins. You also want to basically just either have very good tanks, so Tiny or Lone Druid. They also give some extra benefits with beasts and elementals. Or you just want to stun their ass with Medusa and Tidehunter and stuff like that. Counters to assassins are basically very simple. You just need them to stop doing damage. So you either AoE them down all at once, or you stun their ass and they can't attack because they're stunned. Onwards to hunters. We have 7 hunters in the game. They are Drow, Beastmaster, Windranger, Mirana, Sniper, Medusa, and Tidehunter. Very interesting to know about Tidehunter and Medusa is that there's a very good late game, right? They both stun. They both work very well with each other, and you can actually assemble the Naga synergy very easily late game here. So this is just really, really strong. So if you actually get if you get a few units, like if you get like a level 2 Windranger or like a level 2 Beastmaster, then look for this. Anyways, hunters give increased base damage for your hunters, obviously. 25% base AD for 3 and 6. And because you get increased damage, you gain mana faster. That's basically the trend of aggressive strategies, is that you gain mana faster. So that you cannot underestimate this. Aggressive strategies are really, really good. Very easy to pair with other tribes and synergies. So yeah, easy to get the Naga going on, easy to get Elves going on. Beastmaster is one of the best orcs, so you can get the orcs going on. And the only real counter to hunters is just burst them out. There's not really a huge big counter to this. I mean, you can run like armor for warriors or whatnot, but I don't think it's even that effective. So you just have to position correctly against hunters. All right, we have a final aggressive build. It's demons. Demons are obviously a little bit weird because you only want one of them. There's a CK, Quap, SF, Terrorblade, and Doom. And there's a bonus with Fell Power. So what Fell Power does is that it gives your attacks an extra 50% pure damage. So whatever damage it's going to deal, 50% of the damage is going to convert to pure, which is really, really strong. So if you have exactly one demon on your team, that demon gets Fell Power. So it's basically 1.5 units, which is a lot, right? You're buying 1 unit and then it's doing 1.5 units worth of damage, which is insane. And obviously you don't want 2+ demons because otherwise none of your demons get Fell Power, which is really bad. Biggest perk of a demon is high cost efficiency. Every team basically wants one because it's such a big increase to your team's power. And Fell Power actually has a secret mechanic. Fell Power generates extra mana on top of attack damage. So what does that mean? Basically that means that whenever an SF attacks, usually you're going to see a huge mana gain. So that's why, usually like SF ulti super fast, Quap ulti super fast. It's because Fell Power stacks their mana on top of the normal attack. That's why they can ult really fast. So you should expect your demons to be really, really powerful in that regard. And if you have any mana regen items and you stack it on a demon, they can ult even faster. That's why Voidstone is one of the Quap's best friend, right? And even Terrorblade can use like Voidstone. They just ult so quickly. And of course, easy to incorporate into team roster. Pairs with any team. Any of a team wants a demon, obviously. Counters, once again, not much. I mean, you can run a demon hunter and then you can focus fire them down, but generally speaking, demons are just insane. All right, onwards to the only mixed tribe here. It's both a mix of aggressive and defensive. It's the demon hunters. Like I said, demon hunters remove the Fell Power from your opponent if you only have one of them. So if you have like an anti-mage or a Terrorblade, then it's fine. And if you have 2 demon hunters, then all your demons get Fell Power. And it's no exception. So it doesn't matter what your opponent is running. It doesn't matter how many demons you have. They all get Fell Power. First up, you remove 1/3 of the enemy demon's damage. So you basically remove half a unit from your opponent's roster. So there's already a lot of incentive to run Anti-Mage or Terrorblade, right? Because you just kill your opponent's unit immediately, which is technically speaking a level advantage, right? And once again, Fell Power generates extra mana on top. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. It's very, very important. So if you are running the full demon build, then make sure you run the demons that have very, very good ultis. Pairs of demons. What a surprise! What is a good counter to this? Well, the counter is actually just damage. Demons actually have like 0 defense. They are very squishy. So if you're facing against a demon comp, just kill them. Like, they just die. So position your units correctly and, kill the Terror Blade fast before he ultis, stuff like that. We have Elves. There's a lot of Elves you can choose from. There's 9 Elves, as you can see all the way here. They're generally pretty cheap, so very easy to assemble. So what happens when you get Elves? Well, you add a chance to evade attacks for your Elves. These are multiplicative, so you do not get the full benefit. So the first one is 25%. If you get 6 Elves, you get another 25%. So that's 44% dodge. Okay, so you get a little bit less than 50%. And if you do it the last one, you get about 58% dodge. So you don't add them up. So this is, once again, 40, 42-ish, and 57-ish, something like that. However, there is no diminishing returns. So even though you get less of a bonus, it's actually a pure bonus. I'll explain that once again in my next video. Just think of it as like an extra 25%, okay? Just think of it as like really, really good. So what's the perks? Well, you obviously increase the survivability for your Elves because they don't die, they start dodging stuff. But more importantly, and more frustratingly, you deny mana gain from enemy heroes. When your enemy does not attack your Elves, like they can't deal damage because the attack got dodged, they actually don't get any mana, which is insane, right? Insane on units that actually need to ult. So stuff like Beastmaster, stuff like Lycan, stuff like Medusa, this is the most frustrating mechanic that you can face when you're against an enemy elf team. That's why this is so powerful. Another very important aspect to elves dodging attacks is that you get improved effectiveness for healing and armor, right? So if you're dodging half of the attacks and then suddenly your necro heals for that, then not only are you healing the 2 attacks, you actually get to heal for 4 attacks, right? Because the 2 attack damage came from 4 attacks, and then if you heal 2 attacks, you get you can take another 4 attacks. Same thing goes with armor, right? So make sure if you can pair that up, that'll be really good. It also pairs with HP, so if you get a vitality booster, that'll be really strong. And then of course, huge hero pool to assemble the combo, right? Like, it's very easy to make the elf work. Pairs with any tribe. I mean, it's so huge. You can just find stuff that works, okay? You can go knights because there's a Luna. You can go assassins. There's 2 assassins here. You can go hunters. A very flexible build. Counters. Well, you can't deal damage by attacking them, so you can deal damage by bursting their ass. So you either AoE them down, or you run some mages, and you kill them that way. There's also some ultis that they cannot dodge, such as like techies. They can't dodge bombs because any spell is basically undodgeable. Techies are good, Enigma is good, Lich is good, stuff like that. All right, next one we have orcs. Orc. 4 orcs here. Interesting to note that orcs are very easy to assemble early game. There's 3 early game units. There's the Axe, there's Beastmaster and Jug, and then Disruptor is also an orc. Bonus: increased health on your orcs. If you have 2 orcs, they all get 200 HP. If you have all 4 orcs, they all get 500 HP. So this is actually huge, right? Like, if you have all 4 orcs, there's a 2,000 HP increase. 2,000, right? And if you can pair them with other stuff, like the warriors that we can see later, that's probably going to be pairs with. I mean, definitely going to be in there. Then the health is going to be even better because you have armor on top of it, right? So huge survivability spike for early game because your units don't die. And it's also pretty good late game too. Improves effectiveness of armor and magic resist because you have a big health pool, and also very easy to assemble and transition out of. So once again, pairs well with warriors, pairs really well with damage, because when you have a lot of meat shields in the front, then your damage at the back can, survive a little bit longer. So damage is going to be really good for orcs. And the only real counter is really burst and focus fire. There's not really a big counter to orcs. Orcs are really, really strong. Next up, we have warriors, the natural pairing to orcs. Lots of warriors to choose from. And the bonus for warriors is that you get additional armor for your warriors. If you have 3, you get 7 armor. If you have 6, then you get 8 armor. And if you have 9, then you have an extra 9 armor. Now, this is actually, they add together really, really well, right? So if you have 6 warriors, they have 15 armor. And God forbid you have all 9, then you have like an insane 24 armor, right? So, What does this mean? This means that armor means that you can increase durability and you also have effective HP. And you also improve effectiveness of HP gain, which means that Orc Warriors are just such a solid build, right? Another thing with armor is that you deny mana gain from enemy heroes. They deal less damage, therefore they gain less mana. Therefore they can ult slower, which is great. And, once again, huge shield. Pairs well with Orcs. Pairs well with damage. Pretty much the same thing as Orcs, yeah? The counter is, well, if you can't deal damage physically, then you have to deal damage magically, right? So run some mages that can actually burst them down. Or a very interesting tidbit to counter warriors is to just heal, right? Warriors don't deal a lot of damage, so if you can outlast them and just kind of grind them out, then it's actually really good. So things like heals are really, really good. Things like elves are really, really good against warriors. They just can't heal fast. They're very, very slow. Next up, we've got humans. Humans is actually a little bit mixed. The silence is a little aggressive and a little defensive at the same time. 7 humans to choose from, and when you have humans, there's a percentage chance to silence enemies when you auto attack them. So when you have 2, you get 20%. When you have 4, you get effectively 40% on your auto attacks, and with 6 you get 58%. There's like total chance of silencing your opponent. Very strong against now formations. If you have watched my formation guide or positioning guide, you should definitely do that. There's things that have alt now, so stuff like they put the Tidehunter in front or they put the Medusa in front. Well, guess what? If you have like a Kunkka or you have some humans, like if you're ready mages and then at the back they auto attack that guy, that will be absolutely perfect because you can just silence them. This is more of a secondary tribe. It's very easy to form if you already have, tribes that have humans in them. Dragon Knights are really, really good because, you have Knights. Omni Knight is really good with Dragon Knight. If you have mages, it's very easy. If you're doing beasts, it's very easy to get one. Kunkka is pretty good in all comps. So if you need to beat things that get out now, then you should do that. And of course, Lena is a 3 cost. Pairs well with knights, mages, and warriors, like we said. And the only counter to humans is positioning. If you are facing down, if it's like top 3 or something. Like if you're top 3, there's only 2 opponents left, and one of them is running humans, then you might want to reposition your Tidehunter, or you want to reposition your Kunkka yourself, so that the silence doesn't really happen. Oh man, onwards to knights. Very, very good defense tribe. Possibly one of the best defensive tribes. So there are 6 knights in the game. And the bonus for knights is that you get a percentage chance to gain a shield every 3 seconds. The shield is plus 30 armor and plus 75% magic resist, which is insane. That's huge, right? So what is the percentage chance? We have two knights, you get a 30% chance to get a shield. When you have 4 knights, you get another 30% chance to get a shield. And when you have 6 knights, you have to get another 30% chance to get a shield. Now, when each shield procs up independently, what does that mean? It means that they are each separate rolls. So imagine you're rolling a 30% piece of dice, okay? You're rolling a die, it's 30% chance to work. If you have all 6 knights, you actually roll 3 dice. So it's very easy for one to come up, right? So that's always good. But guess what? You can actually get double and triple shields. When you roll 3 dice and they all come up heads, you get 3 shields. And the 3 shields actually stack on top of each other. So when you have triple shields, you get 90 armor, and you also get like insane amounts of magic resist. This 3 magic resist shields is probably something like 95% or something stupid, okay? Which is insane, okay? You actually basically take no damage. This single point here is basically why 6 knights is such a strong combination. It's because the double and triple shields are just insane, right? You basically make your knight immune. So huge survivability spike for higher levels. The more knights you get, the more survivability you get. 4 is infinitely better than 2. It's actually a huge increase compared to other tribes. And of course, you improve effectiveness for healing armor because, you're healing shield health, right? You're armoring shield stuff. So really, really strong if you can actually get some of those. And of course, shields deny mana gain from enemy heroes. One super important fact is that knights can actually proc their shields through stuns and silences. Well, super consistent build, man. Like, it seems like it's an RNG effect with the shield, but because of this, like, you don't even care your opponent's Tidehunter or Deuce, right? You can just have the shield anyways. One interesting thing to note for Knights is that at the first 3 seconds of the fight, you will never get a Knight shield because the first Knight proc starts in 3 seconds. So if you're running Knights, it's actually a little recommended to put your Knights a little bit back so that the fight starts a little bit later, right? You will not get a shield the first 3 seconds, no matter what. Pairs with heals. Yes, healing is great for Knights. Also pairs really well with Elves. But effectively, you can just do Knights. 6 Knights is usually the way to go. What is the counter to this then? Well, the counter to basically insane amounts of armor and insane amounts of magic resist is pure damage. There's Enigma, pure damage. Enigma doesn't care about shields, it just actually pierces through them. You can also run stuff like, stuns or stuff like that, so hopefully buy you a little bit more time. Omni is also pure damage, but usually it's really, really difficult to grind Knights out. You just need to grind them out. They don't do a lot of damage, but they survive.
Why, oh, why?